It is time for the Dream Theater Train of Thought review. This is Dream Theater's 7th studio album. It came out in the year 2003 and it features the lineup John Petrucci on guitars, Jordan Rudess on keyboards, John Mayung on the bass, James Labrie on vocals, and Mike Portnoy on the drums. Now, this album is probably the second time I would say Dream Theater embraced the more metal side of the prog metal. Because, I mean, they're progressive metal. A lot of the times they're doing more prog than metal. But on this album, they definitely do more metal than prog. And the first time was not to the same lengths that they did, not to the same extremes, but it was with their third album. What's that called? I can't. It's the one with like the moon and stuff on it. Why can't I think of what it's called? It's a great album. Why can't I think of what it's called? Awake, Awake. That's what it's called. I don't know why I blanked on it. I also got my Change of Season shirt on right now because it's the only Dream Theater shirt I had. Listen to this song; it's amazing. But back to this album, it features 7 tracks. It's from 2003, right in that early 2000s era of the band that released a lot of really great albums. I mean, you had 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence right before this one, which was great. Octavarium after this one, which it's not as good. That album is not as good as the other ones from this era. The other ones being Systematic Chaos, which is really, really good, and from 2007 and 2009's Black Clouds and Silver Linings, which is a phenomenal album. You gotta listen to that one if you've never listened to that one. That was amazing as well. So they were putting out a lot of great material during this era. And those albums are all kind of connected, and I'll talk about why later in this video. But this album has 7 songs to get through. And I'm going to start with number 7, which is track 5, or my 7th favorite. I rank the tracks on the album. That's how I do reviews. Track 5, Vacant. And I decided to take a different route while making this video. Usually I just kind of pick out an album I want to review, listen to it a little bit, or it's an album I've already know very well, and I just kind of press record and just talk. This time I decided to listen to the songs and write down notes. I got my notebook here with notes I took on the songs and what I liked, what I wanted to talk about, because I found with some of those reviews, mainly the Rust in Peace and Fear of a Blank Planet review, looking back, there's like, oh, I should have said this about the album. This was a thing I wanted to talk about, but I forgot to because I didn't take notes. So in the order of trying to prevent that, I listened to all the songs and I wrote down notes of what I wanted to talk about, what I liked and whatnot, what stood out to me. So with number 7, track 5, Vacant, it is the shortest song on this album, with only being like maybe 3 minutes at the most. It doesn't say how long it is, but I think it's like 2 minutes and 50 some seconds maybe. And it's a very pretty song. It's got a very nice melody. Boom, boom. It's got a beautiful counter melody with a cello. I love it when metal bands bring in instruments that you don't usually see, like a cello. That is so cool. Like, do more of that. Bring in a cello. Bring in wind instruments. See what you can do. Metal doesn't just have to be guitars, bass, drums, and vocals, or keyboards sometimes. With Dream Theater, they have keyboards. But I really like the cello. It's so pretty. It's such a beautiful sounding instrument, and it fits so well with this album on this track. It's very nice detail. I also really love the piano on this song. Jordan Rudess has some great chord progressions on here, and there's very nice PAC, perfect authentic cadence, which means you're resolving 5/1 with scale degree 1 being in the highest voice or melody, and 5/1 in the bass voice. But there's some very nice of that at the end of the song. I mean, I thought it was a very nice detail because, like, I appreciate that kind of thing because you don't hear that a lot in metal. So it's very cool to be bringing this classical influence into metal, which I like a lot. The 6th song, my 6th favorite song off this album is track 6, Dream of Consciousness. And this song kind of has a very It has an ABA form, but with Dream Theater, a lot of times their first A section will be really, really dense and expanded. They'll have a nice B section, again, nice, long, expanded. Usually not quite as long as the A section, but they'll have a longer B section. And then they recall like the chorus idea or like main theme again and kind of build off of it for a nice shorter A prime section at the end. And that's exactly what this song does. Um, in the beginning, there's a very nice tone. The intro is very good. I love the arpeggiated riffs. I love the tone when the distortion kicks in. The main riff is great, and it just provides a very nice like build, nice contrast from that pretty intro into this heavier. Um, yeah, the when that main distorted riff kicks in, it's so cool. The bass there is really interesting. Like it's very well done. It's a very nice, and it isn't like this album's a very heavy album, like I was saying, but this riff isn't super heavy, but it hits very hard for a different reason. I can't really put my finger on what makes it hit so hard, but it's like the tone's great. It contrasts the rest of the album very well. I mean, it's very great. And I should mention this is the only instrumental track on the album. It's also the longest instrumental track Dream Theater has done, clocking in at over 11 minutes. So, yeah. What else did I write down? There's a neat synth line after the riff. I like it more when the guitar plays it. I wrote down. I don't remember how it goes off the top of my head, but that's what I wrote down. So listen for that. I mean this song's very shreddy. There's a lot of shreddy guitar. The synth lead transitioned into the B section, and there's a very nice retardando there. Very nice retard, and I don't know what that was, but there you go. Um, it transitions very nice into this bass driven section, this B section, something like that, and I like that. The way it transitions into that is nice. With the B section is groovy, the ascending riff is nice. It's a very nice contrast to the first section. Um, yeah, that I love the way that they kind of played around with the lead parts in this B section. The recap's nice. The main theme is in new instruments. I think it's in the bass and the synths. If my ears told me correctly, that's who took over that like main intro idea. They brought that back, and that was very cool. I like that they did that. It makes it different. It's like the same music, but it's presented differently. So it's like getting a cheeseburger from McDonald's and getting a cheeseburger from like Wendy's. Like it's the same thing. It's just presented differently. I really appreciate that. I like that there's a 6/8 rising section that leads to a nice synth solo that has nice variation on the main riff. I like that a lot. I think it's very well done. Um yeah, and then the song kind of just finishes out with an epic shred finish to the end where they kind of restate the main theme and just write out the way it began. And it's well done. It's a very nice song. It's a good instrumental. Initially, I didn't really care about it because I thought, oh, it's 11-minute instrumental. Like, it's not gonna be that good. But then no, I like sat down and like really listened to it and like paid attention to what's going on. I'm like, yeah, this is very good. I like the way it's constructed very well. It's a very well done song. Next up, I have track 3, Endless Sacrifice, taking the number 5th spot. This ends again, I think it's like 11 minutes. It's the first epic we're gonna talk about with vocals. But again, the intro is very good, very nice arpeggiated riff. There's very nice keyboards in the background there. The pre-chorus has like a mellotron sound that really builds well into the chorus. When it's kind of like a soft song, and then when the chorus kicks in, there's like a heavy riff. I really like it. There's a really nice like, I don't know if it's a pinch harmonic, a natural harmonic, some kind of effects pedal like on Becoming by Pantera, the boom 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 boom. That's like a wah pedal that like brings it up 2 octaves, I think. I don't know if it says something like that, but this riff, the like try to stay alive, like I really like that. The chorus, it just slaps. It's a very heavy. It's intense. This is good. Um, The after chorus, the keyboards provide nice tension with distortion, and yeah, there's nice wah. They kind of do this chorus thing like twice, and then it goes into there's a nice riff, wow, riff. I like the leads. There's a nice key solo. There's a fun tone with nice scale patterns, interplay with the leads between guitars and keyboards in this section. Yeah, there is one thing. There's like kind of a goofy. Jordan Rudess kind of added this goofy, um, keyboard thing in the middle of it that kind of disrupts this mood. Like this song's like about, I think it's about like veterans or something, and like they set up this mood very well with like this very dark, very depressing sounding opening. The riff sound thing, the heavy chorus supports that, like the intensity. They support what they're saying about like trying to stay alive very well. It works very well. It fits what they're trying. And then he throws this goofy keyboard thing in the middle of it, and it just like disrupts like the entire mood you just set up. So I don't know why he did that. That's part of why that's like why I put this song lower on this list. Like the rest of the song's amazing, and then he throws that in there, and it's like, what are we doing, buddy? But yeah, there's a nice climb at the end of the passage when it leads into a nice punishing riff that there's a knife half time that brings it home. James' vocals are good when they come back in that. The chorus ties it back to make it like the full ABA. This is kind of what I was talking about. The A section is like the chorus, verse, chorus in there. Then they have that I keep trying to say intermezzo. It is instrumental passage. That's your B section. And then the chorus comes back, and then they kind of come up with a new outro. There's a nice drum fill and a nice spicy chord at the end of the song. It's a very good song overall. It's not as great as the other long songs on the album. It's not bad at all. It's a good song. It's a solid like 6, probably maybe 7. Yeah, it's a good song. I like it. Number 4, I have the opening track, As I Am. Let me find my notes on that. There it is. This song is just a banger. This is a great way to open up this album. Like, it's so it's heavy. It's just a great song, like the headbang too. I saw Dream Theater live. It is where I got this shirt. I don't know if the dates are really legible on there or not, but I saw him in Minneapolis in September at the Orpheum, and they opened. It was on the tour where they were promoting Parasomnia, their new album, and the first set of the album was they played Parasomnia, then like start to finish the album. Then they had a second set of like fun songs, bit of fan favorites, some deep cuts, popular ones, that kind of thing, and then they closed the concert with A Change of Seasons. And the first song they played in that B set, that second set, was As I Am. And it was a great song to kick off this set because it's just a banger. It's just one you want to headbang to. I mean, the intro is great. There's a nice build. The slow, like the intensity just keeps building as they add more and more distortion. Then they get to this like slow riff that's really, really great. And then the main riff is just like, it's groovy as hell. It's crunchy. It's chuggy. It's like do 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 bum bum do 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 bum 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 bum. Yeah, and then they get into that like verse boom. I love the vocals when they come in. James LeBrie's vocals, melodies, lines fit very well with the riff here. The pre-chorus, the song structure is kind of weird. It's like verse, chorus, but they added a pre-chorus and they like added a pre-chorus. And it's like the part where I'm the underdog, and then it's like try to understand you, and then the actual chorus comes in, and the actual chorus is so punishingly heavy. Like it slows down, and the chord progression is great. John Petrucci adds some really, really great ghost notes between like the chords. It's just, mm. There's a clever line in there in the pre-chorus that's like, I need to look at what it is exactly, but it's a clever line. I do like to, I'll talk about lyrics more, but lyrics are not my primary focus when I listen to songs. I like listening to the music. How it sounds is more important to me than the meaning the band attaches to it. But there's a clever line in here I want to acknowledge. John Petrucci wrote the lyrics on this one, it looks like. Where is it? Feeling like the underdog watching through the one. I've been trying to just. Here's the part I like. This is the pre chorus. Um, I've been trying to justify you, but in the end, I will just defy you. Like, I think that's really clever. I've been trying to justify you, but in the end, I will just defy you. Like, it just sounds really cool. It's a very clever line, I think. And I like clever lines like that. Like, meaning wise, we could say whatever you want about it. But it sounds cool, and that's what I care about. And it's clever, so I like that line. Yeah, I mean, the solo in the song is probably one of top, probably top 10, low top 10 John Petrucci solos for me. Like maybe 8 or 9 on the list if I do a list of that, which someday I'll probably do. But I like this solo quite a bit. It's very shreddy, but he is a clear destination. He's not just like Yngwie Malmsteen, just balls to the wall shredding at 16th notes at 180 beats per minute. Like this, he plays 16 notes very fast in this one, but he has a clear place he wants to bring us to, and he brings us there. There's a great bass line in the background that helps along, and it just brings you there. There's a very nice drum fill that brings us back to the chorus. I mean, this song is just a great way to open the album. It's just a great metal banger song. Like there's not really much prog to speak of here, unless you want to talk about the super shreddy solo as being prog-ish, but like bands like Megadeth have them. They're not really a prog band, so it's not really a prog song, and that's all right. They can do metal very well. Dream Theater. The way this song transitions into This Dying Soul is great. It's like this feedback thing is kind of like suspended over like nothing, and it's like this has to go somewhere. And then it kicks into the intro to This Dying Soul, like boom, and then it's like that's very well done. That's nice flow in the album. The songs have to flow into one another, and this song does that. I really appreciate that. Going into the top 3 songs on the album, I have track 4, Honor Thy Father. This song is about 10 minutes long. Again, kind of that AVA form where you have the long expanded on A section, you have a B section, and then a shorter A prime at the end to close it out. Returning to that stuff. This song kicks off with a great drum intro. The 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's like this main riff. This song likes to return to that riff. There's a really nice halftime in the beginning, like dun 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 dun. And then this riff's really nice. And yeah, great drumming in here. That riff's great. I love. What did I write here? Oh yeah. Right before the first verse, there's like the on the bass, and that is so great. I'm setting up that. I love that they gave that to John Myung to introduce that before we're talking unconditional love. Believe that you love me. Yeah, that chorus is great. Then it kicks back into that riff. There's nice synths on top of it. It's great. or the bass riff, I should say. They come back to that bass riff and they like add the rest of the band, and when it comes in, it's really great. Um, yeah, it's tough. There's a chuggy riff that follows, and the keys add nice atmosphere and emotion to it. The lyrics in this one are pretty interesting too. I think it's about Mike Portnoy's stepfather, but we're taught unconditional love, that blood is thicker than water, that a parent's world would revolve always around their son or their daughter. You pretended I was your own and even believed that you loved me, but you're always threatened by some invisible bloodline that only you could see. Like, that's just so tough. The instrumentation there is so tough. Like, this is kind of what I'm saying. Like, I care more about that transition, that instrumental, how they build into that riff that's really tough, than what they're saying. Like, someday I want to do a full video just talking about lyrics and what I think about them, but lyrics matter, I think, but they're not to me, they're not the primary concern when I'm listening to a song. Like, I think I've already said that in the video, but that's kind of how I think about it. Like, the meaning and lyric stuff is like maybe second, third on the list of things that I'm gonna listen for. But like maybe I would probably say like instrumentation's first. I guess like the music itself, like the vocal melodies, the chord progressions, the riffs, the solos, that kind of stuff is first. Then whatever else we can go into like form, theory, whatnot, or whatever, this kind of stuff before we get to lyrics, which I think matter. I do think they matter. I don't think I say that enough. Like, lyrics do matter. They're just not the primary focus for me when it comes to listening to a song. But yeah, the song's lyrics, they're fun to sing along with. Yeah, the instruments in the pre-chorus are great. The chorus is super heavy. On and on. And then, how can you ever sleep or wink at night, pretending that everything is alright? And the nerve to blame this mess on me. Well, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, this song is like, the first A section is really, really heavy. It's some of the best Dream Theater material I've heard. It's really heavy. The way the riffs interact and stuff is just great. I mean, yeah, the guitar states. One thing I really like is like when they come back to the verses, the guitar states that theme that the bass did before the first verses. Now the guitar has a. That's nice. That's different. You're musically, it's the same notes, but it's presented differently again. It's that I like. I think if you're gonna repeat an idea, give us something different. Like, you've already said this thing, why would you just repeat the same thing again exactly? Like, give it to me a little different, change it up, add some variation, and they do that here, and I like that. Yeah, the pre-chorus is cool. Vocal transition to the chorus is really good. It works very well. There's a key change right before the B section that works really well, because then once like this B section, which is kind of like the part with the movie clips in it, the that chuggy part, that's kind of the B section. And what I like how it transitions to that, because the key change, they go up and then it comes back down to where I think they tuned to C on this song, so they probably go up to like D, maybe for that. I'm guessing they go up a step and then they come back down to C for that chuggy part, and it just hits so hard because like it's lower, which that's a whole discussion in its own. Like, does down tuning really make it heavier? Because like Opeth, we were talking about Deliverance, that's all in E standard, and that stuff is really heavy. Like Master's Apprentice, that's in E standard, and that's really heavy. This stuff's in C, and it's also really heavy, but I think the way it's presented here doesn't really mean, or I would say blanket statement, like lower does not necessarily mean heavier. You do not have to tune lower to be heavy, but in this instance, the fact that they start the song in C, go up to what I'm guessing is D, and then come back down, it makes it hit harder because we were just up higher. and then they come back down to where they already were. That's what makes it heavy, is they were already in that same key. They change it and they come back, which makes it harder. The movie clips are cool. I remember when the actor died, the Mike Portnoy posted something about it on Instagram and how he was on this song or whatever, but I don't remember his name, but that's sad that he died. But I love that as the movie clips become more intense and emotional, the music does too. It becomes more intense. It's a great, like, they're not just putting these movie clips in to like fill the space. There's a reason. It gives them ground to build the instrumentation, or the instrumentation builds with it. And it's great. It moves into that instrumental passage, which is good. There's some nice modulating, good keyboards. There's a rising transition, and there's a like choir keyboard sound in the background that's really nice. That leads very nice back into the bum 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 riff, and then they have the chorus again, ride that riff out to the end. One thing I want to mention more with the lyrics that I think is cool is there's the line in every chorus. Oh, I want to call back. I forgot to mention this part where he's like, "Well, listen to me, you ungrateful fool. Here comes a dose of reality." During that part, there's really nice synth work in the background that builds great atmosphere. I think that's probably what I was talking about before, but I didn't realize that's where it was. I don't know. But that part's really cool. And I think I just read the note that said like nice atmosphere and keyboard. I didn't remember where it was in the song, I think is what it was. But in the chorus, they do it 3 times. There's the line, "And you have the nerve to blame this mess on me." On its own, that line is like, whatever. You're blaming me for something that I didn't do, whatever. But the second time it comes around, he says, "And the balls to blame this mess on me." It's different. The third time it comes around, it says, "You have the balls to blame this shit on me." I think that's so cool. Like, changing a word like that, it's so subtle, but it's such a nice difference to like break up the repetition that like it works so well, because I hate it when songs beat a chorus to death, when they just repeat the same thing over and over and over. They give it to me the same way every time. They get to the chorus the same way every time. I hate it when chorus songs do that, like Sweet Caroline or something, where it's just like meant to be sung along with at a concert. Like, I hate that on a recording. Like, you already told me this chorus like 4 times. Why do I need to hear the same thing again? And this is different. It changes it is ever so slightly, so then it stays interesting. It's not just repeating the same thing. I love that so much about this song. And it's a great song. Through and through, it's another really heavy, really great banger. It's just a great song. My second favorite song off this album is track 2, "This Dying Soul," which, remember earlier in the video, 28 minutes ago, when I was talking about how this album is connected with the other albums of this era? Well, it's with this song and what's called the 12-step suite. This is my first I think this is the first Dream Theater album review I'm doing, so I wouldn't have talked about any of the 12-step suite on a different album. But if you're unfamiliar with what the 12-step suite is, actually, let me one second. I'm going to grab the albums to show you from the CD case. I need these ones. Also want to grab this because I'm going to talk about it later. Basically, 2002. Oh, this is the wrong way. Sorry. 2002, you get 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. The opening track on this album is called "The Glass Prison." "The Glass Prison" is the first song in the 12-step suite. The second song is "This Dying Soul" off of this album from 2003. 2005, you have "The Root of All Evil" from off Octavarium, which is the third part. The fourth part is "Repentance" from Systematic Chaos. Then you have "The Shattered Fortress" off of Black Clouds and Silver Linings. And what it is each of these songs has 2 to 3 sections that each represent one step in the 12-step process to get sober. And Mike Portnoy had dealt with some alcohol issues, and in his process of getting sober, he would write the music about each step of the way he was doing to get sober. And so this passage, the Glass Prison is the first three steps. This one has parts 4 and 5, which are called Reflections of Reality and Release. And so I think that's really cool that Dream Theater wrote these 5 different songs that all represent, each section of the suite represents a different step of the process. It's so cool that like they have this bigger concept that's stretched across these 5 albums. So it really makes it feel like this is an era of the band because they're all tied together through this. It's such a cool idea. Like the only other example I can really think is not even on this like same scale, but with do I have it up here? Yeah, with Hemispheres. I don't have a Farewell to King, but there's Zyngus X Book 2 on this Hemispheres. And then Book 1, I forget what it's called, but it's off of Farewell to Kings, which I don't own yet. I would like to get that one. But those two are tied, so only 2 albums, but like Dream Theater took that and ran with it. I mean, huge Rush influence. I don't know if they got the idea from Rush or if it's just a coincidence, but regardless, it's such a cool idea to tie it. And then there's themes and stuff that come across throughout all of the songs, and The Shattered Fortress does a great job of tying material in from all the pieces while adding its own new stuff and ending it. But anyways, back to This Dying Soul, the one off of this album. The intro, as earlier I stated, is great. Yeah, then it goes into a really cool. Or no, first it goes. And then like the drums change and they restate the riff, but like in its full form, where it's like they have that riff. And then they go into the chorus riff, and then they have this opening statement with like the guitar solos and stuff. There's a guitar solo over the dun 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 dun. This is all in the key of B, by the way. I don't know, B major. It's probably B minor, but they kind of move around. It isn't strictly B minor, but they focus things on the low B string because that's what they were using. They didn't tune this one down. I think he had a 7 string for this one, so he had the low B below the E. And John Myung plays a 6 string generally, so he's got the low B string on his bass. But this instrumental passage to start has like a piano solo after that chorus, and they restate the this whole instrumental passage works kind of like an overture, which, if you don't know what an overture is, basically in an opera they would have like a instrumental thing before the whole story kicks off, where they would introduce a bunch of themes that will come again later in the album, in the opera. And originally what's interesting is the whole overture came about because King Louis the 14th wanted everybody to know he was watching these operas that were about him, by the way, or like depicting him as basically a god, but he wanted everyone to know he was there, so he'd have like these overtures get written, and everybody would just focus their attention on like King Louis the 14th, like entering the opera house, watching the opera or whatever at Versailles. Very interesting stuff, but not really the focus here. I just wanted to throw that in there. Do with that what you will. But yeah, that's kind of what this verse instrumental passage is doing. I love the way how all the instruments drop out, and then you get boom. That's kind of in 6 there, 6/4, and then it's like the bass kind of just plucks the B string and lets it go, and then the boom boom, and you get the vocals, Hello, mirror, so glad to see you, my friend. It's been a while, searching, fearless. Where do I begin to heal this wound of self-denial? I love the bass part during that. I love that it's like you kind of have this really dense and heavy texture, and then it thins out here, which is really nice. And then you get "Face Yourself, Man," and then the bass takes that main riff, the he plays it up an octave, and then the whole band kicks in when he gets to the "You've been blinded, living life in one," or whatever, that line, and then the whole riff kick, the whole band kicks in. It's like, oh, this is so good. This is so crunchy. This is so heavy. I love it. I love it. It's so good. And then yeah, you get the chorus, the part, I want to feel your body breaking, want to feel your breaking, shaking, and left in the cold. I want your conscious making it change to fix this dying soul. I mean, then you get the and then there's a really cool transition with like the drums and keyboards and stuff where it kind of sounds like, this is a really weird example, but it's kind of like a tape measure getting, like you measure it out where 10 feet and then you pull the thing up and it kind of, it doesn't really sound like that, but that's the vibe I get where it's kind of like you go back to that riff and it's really cool how they do that transition. Um, yeah, I mean, then they kind of go back to the. Eventually, they get to a part where they take that. They bring it up to C sharp. And eventually, they get to the. Oh, goodness, I need to grab a drink. Sorry. Oh. Oh, sorry, I was. Whatever. Yeah, they bring back the that riff from the beginning, and it just hits so hard. They change the C sharp. They bring that riff back again in C sharp, and then they go back to the chorus in B, and it just works so well. It works so well. Then there's a piano solo that references the one back in the beginning with like the same chord progression. Then you have this kind of transitional vocal idea that brings you to this and then the way they, this part's so cool. So one, that riff is new for this song, but it's in the Glass Prison. It's on which opened 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. It's on the Glass Prison. That's from there. That's what they got. This is what I'm talking about. They're tying these ideas from different albums together. And what's even cooler is that riff kind of transitioned between the first step to the second step in that one. And it's just like, that's so cool that they're doing it again. It brings unity between those songs and these albums. Really cool. Adds layers to the music, which that's the kind of thing I like. But then you had that. Then they it's really cool because it kind of, the transition, they like play the riff and like the guitar kind of stays the same, but like everything changes around it and it sounds kind of convoluted and messy, and then it cleans up and it's like, that was really cool the way that, it's hard to explain, but there's a part where it just is like a straightforward and then instead of like, it's kind of like the rhythm's less clogged, it becomes clear, and then there's a really cool technical riff. I've tried learning this song on bass. I've most of the first half learned. If this video gets 10 likes, I will post a video of me playing the whole thing at some point. on bass, definitely not guitar or anything, just the bass part. But 10 likes, that's the goal. I'll do that. But yeah, that's really cool. That's kind of the transition to the second part of the song, the fifth step, release. And then I love the way the vocals, they trade. There's a great riff at the part where he's help me. Then there's some really good. That's kind of towards the end. What's the riff? I really like that riff. This really nice key. The keys add really nice texture, and your fear, and what is it? Your fearless admissions, or whatever. There's a nice reference to the technical riff at the instrumental passage, the bouncy riff when there's a keyboard solo. The unisons in this are really impressive, and there's a really intense shreddy race to the finish, which recall back to that riff at the start of the song. Then you get those arpeggios from This Dying Soul. Again, great transition between one song to the next. Great flow, That's what you're looking for. And yeah, I mean, This Dying Soul, that first section of this song is so well written. I think it's one of the best written passages that Dream Theater have ever done. Like, yeah, it's just so good. And then I also love the second half of the song is also great. It's a completely different vibe, but it's great. It contrasts it great. It's, again, great riffs. I love there's some great parts when vocals kind of transition. Again, like the Glass Prison did when the vocals first come in that song. When they come in the Glass Prison, there's kind of like a trade-off between backing vocals and James LeBrie, and they kind of do that again here, and I really appreciate that. It's well done. So yeah, the last song on this album, my favorite song off this album, is the closing track, In the Name of God. Now this is one where it's a very emotional piece. Lyrically, this is one where the lyrics are very powerful for me. They're all about how, like, people will use, like, religion and twist faith into an excuse to commit, like, violent acts, like suicide bombings and that kind of a thing, which is what this song's about, and how it's terrible that people are taking these ideas of religion, which I think people gravitate. I'm not really a religious person, but people, from what I can understand, is gravitate towards religion and seek to live a better life. And it's so sad that people are taking those ideas and twisting them into an excuse to, like, commit violent acts, which very powerful message. And this is where I'm saying, like, lyrics matter. They can make a song more impactful, but I don't think good lyrics can be as impactful without great music. And this song has some very great music. So let's talk about it. The tone at the beginning, there's kind of a lot of arpeggios at the beginning of songs on this album. This one's no different, but it sets up the mood. It's exactly that's what I'm thinking when I'm hearing this song, this mood. It's very emotional. The first riff is very heavy. It leads very well into the main riff, which is so heavy. The boom dum, dum ba da dum ba da dum boom dum, boom dum. And the riffing's drying out my throat today. But yeah, I love that main riff. It's so good. I love how the band kind of drops out when the first riff comes in, and he's like, how can this be? I'm the chosen one. And the bass kind of continues that main riff while the rest of the band kind of steps back, which is really nice. And then that lets the next verse, when, like, the guitar kicks in with that, to hit really hard. Like, the guitar kicks in with that riff. And then There's a nice drum fill that leads into the first chorus, which kind of gets into a triple meter. Labrie's performance is so amazing on this song. Like, throughout the whole thing, it's just his performance makes the lyrics like impact you so much more. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, his performance, the way he is singing the lyrics, makes the lyrics more impactful than just the words themselves. You know, it's like you wouldn't have the same connection. I wouldn't have the same connection with these lyrics if I just read them like a book or like a poem. But the way he's singing it and presenting it to you makes it impactful. Yeah, it's amazing. The riff into the third verse is very tough. I love it when the riff changes and the perspective and the lyrics changes. It's the part where he's like, um, I'll just read the chorus first because they are pretty interesting. Listen to when the prophet speaks to you, killing in the name. Wait, was it? Listen when the prophet speaks to you, killing in the name of God, passion, twisting faith into violence in the name of God. Alright, then there's the part where straight is the path leading to your salvation, slaying the weak, ethnic elimination. Any day will be swept away. You'll be saved as long as you obey. There's kind of a perspective change there where it's like, hey, you come follow this religion, we will you'll be saved. And then it kind of changes to like we're using this as a meaning to like commit violent acts. Like, that's really cool. And the riff changes, the vocals change, the tone changes, and that's very well done. It's just a very strong songwriting, you know. The vocals when he says "from the cradle" are amazing. The bass line after the final chorus and the synth adds spicy atmosphere. That part's amazing. The boom 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 bass line, the keyboard's kind of floating on top of that, adding nice details. There's like hundreds of believers, and then it's just amazing build of intensity there with the guitars, and it's like, and then it's just like there's kind of this. I'm calling it the boom break. It's video game-esque. It's kind of. I don't think this one breaks the immersion though. It's kind of fun, and it just is like, but it doesn't completely ruin the immersion for me. Like I was talking about that keyboard break on Endless Sacrifice. But then after this, he's like, justifying violence. And listen to this song and have good speakers, good headphones, or something when you listen to this. Because at this part, when he says justifying violence, in the background, you can hear him screaming it. And it's very faint, it's very soft, but it's there. And once you notice it, it's like, wow, that just adds this depth to it that's amazing. It's so good. It's such a nice detail. And it transitions very nicely into instrumental section. Again, this one's kind of an ABA form. That really, really intense, big, beefy A section. You know, both verses here are different. The choruses, I'll talk about that more actually later. It's very beefy, and then it leads into my second favorite instrumental passage from Dream Theater. This group has a lot of instrumental passages, so that's I praise. With my favorite being Metropolis Part 1. But this one's second to that one. And yeah, it's great. There's some amazing unison runs. This is a very, very intense, shreddy passage. There's some very fast sextuplets in there. 16th septuplets, that is. And what's insane is there's just a great bass line under it. And what's insane is it kind of trades between like synth, keyboards, and then they play these really fast 16 septuplets together. Actually, I think they might do it together a couple of times. They emphasize one over the other in the mix, and then you can hear them both really nice. So I think they do it together. Then it's kind of like a guitar thing. They do it together. And you could be saying, oh, they're just doing it in the studio, playing it individually in the studio. I mean, being able to play that on its own is extremely impressive, but being able to play it with another person in unison, like at the same time, is insane. And they do it on the Live at Budokan. This is the last song on disc 3 on the Live at Budokan concert CD, which is this. This is worth listening to, by the way. Great version of Hollow Years. And the In the Name of God performance is phenomenal off this. And there's a really cool, where is it? Beyond This Life that's almost 20 minutes. But yeah, that just proves that they can do it together in unison is what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't just like in the studio. Like, maybe they did it separate in the studio, but like they can do it together, and that's what's important. Yeah, the arrival back to the A section is a restatement of that theme at the beginning. It's like they add that nice, again, I don't know if it's like a wah pedal, bringing it up a couple octaves, pentarmonics or something, but it just sounds so good and it hits so hard. This restatement of this riff is so, it's good. It's really good. Yeah, the final chorus from Le Brie is very powerful. The transition there is very powerful after that really heavy riff. Oh man. The throat is not liking this today. It's alright though. I want to make this video. And then it's very powerful instrumentally. You just have to listen to it, but it's very powerful. The final chorus is very powerful. His performance there, and this is what I said I'll talk about later. This is what I'll talk about here. Each statement of the chorus is very powerful, and the way they arrive to it is different. That's what's big for me. It's like they're not beating this chorus to a pulp. They're using it as an anchor point while they have these different musical ideas in between them. They're using this as an anchor to come back to. And even if you listen to it, there's different background stuff going on. Like James Le Brie, Jordan Rudess adds piano stuff in this last performance that wasn't there before. This last statement. And that's like, it's not beating the chorus to death. They're not just repeating it over and over and over. They're using it. They play it, sing it once, they get to it, sing it once, get to it again a different way, and use like these different sections of music, and they return to it to add like that arrival point, that's the beauty of an ABA form, is you state an idea, you go to a different idea, and then you come back to that idea, which makes you think you got somewhere, and then usually you change that. And that's what Dream Theater does, is they change up the A section, the A prime, to make it like you change after you leave home. I had a professor in school who talked about it as you leave home, which is the A section, you're at home. You leave home, which is the V section, and then you come back. But after your adventure, you're a different person. So the A prime is a little different. And that's what it is here. The final lyrics in the song, the part religious beliefs, fanatic obsession, does following faith lead us to violence? Unyielding crusade, divine revelation, does following faith lead us to violence? Powerful stuff, but what really makes me like it is James Le Brie's performance here. My goodness. People can talk about Dream Theater, oh, they have no soul, they're just playing a million notes a minute, they're just nerds who went to Juilliard in Berkeley, and there's no soul, they're just showing off. Listen to this song, listen to this performance at the end, where, goodness, James Le Brie's just the emotion he adds. He has that layer of music that you can't really explain. You just feel, and the power and impact he adds in that performance is so, so good. So powerful. And then they kind of do this oh thing at the end. And after all of that, the background vocals sing the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which was like that World War. I forget the woman's name who wrote those lyrics, but there was the tune John Brown's body lays smoldering in the grave, and then I cannot remember her name, but this woman like visited her husband or went to the camp, the Union camp or something, and she heard these soldiers singing these lyrics like John Brown's body lies smoldering in the grave. I don't know. I'm blanking on how it goes exactly, but they're singing those lines, and she's like, this is repulsive, this is disgusting. And so she goes home and she writes the lyrics, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, to that same melody, and then it takes off. Everyone starts singing those because it turns into this like big song of the Civil War. This big lyrics. I look up her name. I'll look up her name and put it in the description because I can't remember it for the life of me what her name is. I know it's not. My mind goes to Harriet Beecher Stowe, but she's the one that wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. I'm pretty sure this is a different person. I can't remember her name though. But yeah, they in the background voices they sing it, and that's just powerful in my opinion because that was kind of a song that was like about like I mean my eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, and His truth is marching on. Like, and it's in this song about like people committing terrible acts. And this song's 14 minutes and 16 seconds, by the way. I guess it does say it in here. I'll just... Vacant is 2:58. This Honor Thy Fathers 10:14. Endless Sacrifice is 11:23. This Dying Soul is 11:26. And this As I Am 7:47. Long song. It's a long album. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. But it's a great listen. I'll get to the conclusion there. But yeah... In the Name of God is a very powerful song. Jamie LaBrie's performance really sells this song for me. Yeah, it's incredible. The riff's amazing. Like, the instrumental passage is phenomenal. It's so shreddy and chaotic. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. I love it so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Dream Theater songs. It's one of my favorite album closers from them too. Maybe not the best, but it's one of the best album closers from them. I don't know. It's very high on the list. But, yeah, I mean, it's just that performance at the end, those after the instrumental passage, once that main riff comes back, the song, like, it was already emotional. It already made me feel something. And then this ending is just, like, so devastating and emotional. It's a great... And I love the piano outro. It leaves it on this kind of unresolved place. Like, it's kind of like Dream Theater saying all this stuff about these actions people are doing. And it's not going to change anything. They're leaving it unresolved. Like, hey, we made this song, but it's not going to change anything, which is kind of sad. But that's kind of the way I think of it, which makes the song more impactful for me. Like, I love that each person who listens to the song will think different things about it. And that's why I love making these videos, is I'm just sharing what I think about the music. When you guys watching the video think something completely different, it makes you feel a different way. And that's really the beauty of music, is like, we can play the same note. I think this song's centered around C. C is a tonal center, and yeah, but it can make you feel so many different ways. And so many people, different people feel different ways. Like, it's amazing that people can do that, that the music can do that. But yeah, I mean, one other thing I want to talk about with this song before I get to the conclusion is on this Live at Budokan performance, really cool album cover, by the way, how it's like the performance, it's like the stadium. It was in Japan. And then it's the red dot with the stadium, like the Japanese flag. In this one, when they sing the Battle Hymn of the Republic on the recording, John Petrucci adds a really, really good solo. It's gorgeous. He plays like a melody from the song that kind of combines with the Battle Hymn of the Republic melody, and it's just so beautiful. It's such an amazing solo. It makes me almost wish it was on this song, on the studio recording. But yeah, that's part of the beauty of live albums, is you get stuff like that aren't on the original. So yeah, I mean, I love it. I love that, and I also love the original. So yeah, Train of Thought, Dream Theater's 7th album, came out in 2003. Great lineup, classic lineup. It is the heaviest Dream Theater album for sure. Like, it's not really a contest, it's the heaviest one. The production on this one's amazing, and it's one of the best mixes. Like, everybody can be heard, including John Myung, the bass player. You can hear him. I love that so much. The drum sound, I think this is Mike Portnoy's best drum sound on the, like, the snare drum sounds amazing. The kick, I haven't talked about the drum sound itself, but they sound amazing. I love the way the bass drums sound. I love the double bass sound. I love the way the cymbals sound. Like, the sound is just amazing. It's just a really heavy, really amazing progressive metal album. Emphasis on the metal, start to finish. I mean, it's great. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's great. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Great album. You gotta listen to this one. It's great. Up next on the channel, I'm gonna do The Great Southern Trendkill by Pantera, then Obscured by Clouds by Pink Floyd. I don't know what I'm gonna do after that one, but yeah, that's listen to Train of Thought. It's a great album, amazing sounding album. The music's incredible. I love it. I hope writing down notes about the song made the video more structured and organized, and I like doing it because then I like really sat down and intensely listened to what the music, like I listened to it before and like, oh yeah, that's a nice riff, but now I think about it more and like thinking more in depthly about what's going on, and I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna definitely do this more from now on. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one, The Great Southern Trendkill.